Welcome back, everybody, to the next episode of our Blood Mage walkthrough. Now we're actually going to be feeling the consequences of the Land's Meat. But at this point, I definitely wanted to go ahead and talk to Alistair and at least finish out his the remaining time that he has with us. But important to note is that if you decide to go with this option of having Alistair and marry Nora and have them rule jointly as king and queen, and by sparing Loghain's life and by making him a Grey Warden, Alistair's going to completely leave your party. So at this point, I definitely want to make sure I take off all of the good stuff that I've given Alistair. So we're going to take off basically everything. I will armor him with something. I planned on just giving him the Warden Commander armor, just because this armor set actually also does not carry over into it doesn't carry over into Awakening, so it's completely fine for me if he wears this. But also, there we go, there is our secret companion. So now I'm just going to give Loghain Andrew's Blessing, the Magister's Shield for now. I definitely need to get him to have all of his all the accessories. Hang on. No, that's not as good. What I'm looking for is just to kind of give some items to Loghain, so that way at least I can boost up his health and his strength, his dex, anything like that. Let's get rid of Ring of the Warrior and Ring of Study. In that, sorry Morrigan, I basically just took everything from you. That's a good weapon. I should probably give that Starfang. I should probably give that to Loghain. Yeah, we're gonna do that. Let's see, what else can I give him? And Duncan's Shield. Just the only reason why I'm doing all this, just to make sure I can like pump up a lot of his stats. It's just by the time that you get Loghain, his stats really aren't optimized. So that's the only reason why I want to make sure that I at least can like really equip him with like some good gear, despite him not having the stats. And I think it was the last episode that I recorded. I had I purchased a tome of physical technique. I think this is pretty much it. I purchased a tome of physical technique, which is just going to give us one attribute point as well as one talent, spell point, whatever. So I'm just definitely going to give that to Loghain, because he's basically going to be my new main tank now. And here we go. Let's talk to Alistair.
Oh, there you are. Come to offer congratulations, I suppose? Maybe you intend to throw me a party to celebrate my engagement. There isn't any us. There's me, and then there's the woman who spared Duncan's murderer. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to come out like that. I don't know why you made Loghain a Grey Warden, but he's tainted it for me. The man is a traitor, and you gave him the greatest honor I can think of. There is no way to make that right. No way at all. But why should I complain, right? I'm the king now, and with a beautiful fiancée who is going to remind me of her father every time I look at her. I'll make the best of it, I guess. I'm not going to roll over and let Honora rule, that's for sure. Well, good luck, I suppose. You have a lot to do now. And so do I.
There we go. A hardened Alistair, I still feel, would make like a really good king. Especially like what he said there. I'm not just going to roll over and let Honora rule. But, alright, we're done here. Time to go. I do want to talk to Loghain a little bit, just because he is our newest companion. He does have a lot of unique, at least to me, unique dialogue when we bring him to Ostagar, because obviously that's where he betrayed everybody. So I definitely want to talk to Loghain a little bit. I have some gifts for him to raise his approval with us. And then I planned on planning on doing Return to Ostagar with Loghain and Wynn in the party because they were both there. So there should be some interesting and unique dialogue between those two.
Indeed.
And then, to be honest, I think we're actually going to... That'll be the end of the playthrough for then. Like, for now, I'm just going to go ahead to Redcliffe Castle because that's where the Queen went. That's also where Arl Eamon and all of our forces are. Because then we're going to march on... we're going to march on the Darkspawn. So, let's talk to Loghain first.
Did you want something? Hate doesn't describe it. I've seen painted, masked lords beat an old farmer to death with riding crops. To this day, I don't know why. Is that hate? I saw good, sensible men fight armored chevaliers with nothing. No weapons, no armies, not even hope of success to see the occupation end. Is that hate? The past is always with us. It's in our bones and our blood, and we wear it on our skin. You can think otherwise, but you'll never get far without it. It's odd to hear you say that. I can still see the accusations you haven't voiced hovering around you like a swarm of hornets. For what it's worth, though, thank you. In any case, there's no use discussing this. We have much work left to do. Of course.
All right, there we go. We got +6. It's just going to be, I think, chipping away at least until we end up getting to the party, to the camp. So let's go ahead and do that. Loghain.
I passed your test. Fate has a twisted sense of humor, it seems. I suppose you think I'm some sort of monster. More so since I survived your ritual. You keep striking at me, and I just refuse to die decently. You're a poor liar, you know. It's kind of you to say so all the same. We must settle things between us somehow or other, or neither of us will get any work done. So, what will it be? Is that punishment meant for me or for you? And just like that, we're allies. I can't imagine it's so simple. I don't know what concession you want from me, Warden. I expect my word will not satisfy you. Indeed, I'd almost forgotten that. Thank you for the reminder. I think it's time we got to the point here. What do you want from me? I can't imagine that you spared my life in the Landsmeet by accident. You have some plan in mind. What I want? What an odd question. I want to ride back to Denerim and sit in the war room and find no empty chairs at the table. I want to lose, nothing else. I want a line clearly drawn that I can defend. I want an end to this war. All of this can rightly be called my fault. Whether or not you can do better remains to be seen. But if you can make this the end, Warden, I will follow you, I swear it. Andraste, help us then. We should speak no more of this at present. Time's wasting.
Boom, 31. Just by talking to the main antagonist a little bit. And I don't know, say what you will. I do see where he's coming from on a lot of issues. You know, a lot of people build him up to be this big bad villain. But I don't know. I've always liked Loghain. And he'll do what needs to be done. So I feel like he wouldn't give a shit about my main character using blood magic. He's like, whatever it takes to win. I feel like he's that kind of guy. But all right, let's talk to Loghain a little bit more.
I suppose I shouldn't be surprised at your success. You beat me. Perhaps you can do this after all. Do you want something? I suppose I have a moment. He was my friend. If he'd wanted to conquer the Fade, I would have led the charge. There are men who inspire such devotion that everyone around would lay down their lives for him. And there are men who would come and go from this world, and no one notes it. What makes them so? Your guess is as good as mine. Merrick was remarkable. That's all I can say of him. I was hunting, well, poaching, to be entirely honest, when a boy my own age came stumbling out of the woods. He was so dirty, you'd have thought he'd been dug up out of the ground. The traitorous bootlickers who'd just murdered the Queen, though I didn't know it at the time. He was bloody, exhausted, and obviously being hunted. I offered to take him to my father's camp. Yes, I didn't find out who he was for a while, though. But I've rattled on for too long already. We should get moving. He nearly did. Merrick was never one to avoid his duty. And given his preference, he would have acknowledged his son no matter the circumstance. But he had more than his honor to think of. It would have ruined Rowan, after all. She'd be reduced to a concubine in the eyes of our neighbors and put Kaelin's status as heir in question. So Merrick made the hard choice. Eamon offered to raise the boy, and that was that. I was turned by then, and a general. You can buy respect through birth or by bloodshed, I've found. But we've been idle long enough. We should get moving. Go ahead. I suppose that depends on how much of the kingdom was left by then. Once the border was secure, the army would have regrouped to push back the Darkspawn in the south. We couldn't, especially after Ostagar. It wasn't an ideal plan, but it seemed necessary at the time. In any case, there's no use discussing this. We have much work left to do. Of course.
Time to give him some maps. For some reason, he really loves
Thank you.
maps. I don't know why.
Thank you.
There you go. I think that's it for now. Moderate strength. There we go. Let's see if we can talk.
Do you want something? I suppose I have a moment. Honora is a good queen. She has been for 5 years now. I am a bit, but she'll do well. I have to say that anyway, for if word gets back to her that I said otherwise, she'll be furious. In all seriousness, Honora is formidable. You should know that by now. I'm not a seer. If I could predict the future, I wouldn't be here now. Honora is strong enough to endure. She may make a few mistakes along the way, but she'll survive them. But this isn't the time to discuss such things. By all means. Eamon is a shrewd man. He'll be advising the boy. They'll do all right, I suppose. I was trying to be polite. Your friend may get good advice from Eamon, but he's weak. All the bands know it. You can see them. A pack of wild dogs waiting for a bone. The first chance they get, they'll pry concessions out of him. They'll pick at the throne until it's only a gilded chair with no power or authority at all. Because Eamon, for all his merits, is a conservative man. He believes in tradition and inheritance, and would never see the daughter of a freeholder, however gifted, in power. I was a Tyrann. My father was a farmer, as was his father and all the generations of Muktirs that history remembers. And Celia, my wife, was a cabinet maker's daughter. Hardly a royal pedigree. This discussion profits no one. I may be wrong, I will certainly hope so. By all means. Anora always did have a flair for the dramatic. She could have been a bard. Anora is a politician at heart. There's one thing she knows. It's how to move people. Well, I'm sure having you come to her rescue gave Anora no small amount of pleasure. But enough about Anora. We ought to get moving. Go ahead. So far as anyone could tell, she was the undisputed monarch of the whole world. She'd fall, skin her knees, and command them to stop stinging. It may have worked, too. She bleeds just like anyone. Or are you surprised that my daughter ever fell down? If you're expecting some particular insight into my daughter's character, I'm afraid I'm probably not the best source. I'm hardly impartial. You think so? I'm not certain of that myself. But this is not really the time or place to discuss my daughter. We have work to do. Of course.
Alright, but there we go. We basically just finished out, I don't know, backstory about Loghain. We can't have any other conversations with him. But as of right now, I think Loghain's actually... I don't remember if it's that... Is it in skill? Yep, it's in skills. Okay, so he has major strength now, which is great. That's just going to help us with a chance to hit in addition to the melee damage. As well as... Hang on, I think it... Physical resistance. There we go. It's also going to help us contribute to physical resistance for Loghain. But tell you what, let's go ahead. We'll swap out some of the runes that I had.
Enchantment?
Yeah, I want enchanting. Keening Blade. There we go. Let's remove all of that. And Starfang, which is what Loghain has now. Let's just give him... all plus 20 physical resistance. There we go. Keening Blade is only for a warrior, so I can't even really give that to Morrigan. That sucks. Dragonbone, Chased Great Maul. What could I give Sten? Plus 5 fire, plus 5 fire. Plus 10 physical resistance. I don't think Sten really ever gets stunned that often. I'll just give him another damaging rune. That's fine. Same thing with Oghren. Let's give him plus 4 electricity. Plus 3 fire. And I think I just gave him what? Alright, plus 6 damage versus Darkspawn. That's fine. Okay, perfect. Now we gave Loghain more physical resistance. And he's completely at 100, which is awesome. He's going to make him a little bit more durable. Cool. Alright, let's go. We're gonna... Oh, shoot. Hang on. Friends, I forgot. I did buy the Golden Mirror, which is actually for Morgan. Let's give her that mirror, because she told us about it last time we talked to her.
What have you there? A mirror? It is just the same as the mirror which Flemeth smashed on the ground so long ago. It is incredible that you found one so like it. I am uncertain what to say. You must wish something in return, certainly.
Yeah, you could repay me for it. Forget it. Let's just try to get more.
You say that as if
approval.
I should be accustomed to such a thing. I have never received a gift. Not one which did not come at a price. I suppose I should say thank you for the gift. 'Tis most thoughtful. Truly.
Plus 20. Wow, that's a lot of approval. But alright, let's go. Now we're going to go to Ostagar. Let's go ahead and finish that out. And then we'll be done. We'll be going to the final battle. and saying goodbye to this playthrough, friends. Yep, gather. Alright, we gotta go to Ban Loren's lands. Wait, what? Why is it asking me for... Oh!
Thank you. I didn't expect the band's men to notice my escape so quickly. I tried to hide here in the woods, but there wasn't time. And now I'm a dead man.
I tried to help. Yeah, okay.
You were there in Ostagar. You know how things went. For me, it was either this, or die in some darkspawn's belly, or be hung as a deserter. You were there with the Grey Wardens, one of Duncan's new recruits. I was to guard the king. He was my friend, understand? Maker, all that time in Ban Loren's prison, and I couldn't stop thinking about all they suffered that one dark night at Ostagar. Leave it to me to be the one who lingers. But if it's the likes of you who sees me to my final hour, perhaps things happen for a reason. The king entrusted me with the key to the royal arms chest. If anything were to happen to him, he said, it was vital I deliver it to the Wardens. He didn't get the chance. Duncan was so busy with the new recruits and keeping Loghain at bay. Whatever his reasoning, it's me Cailan entrusted it to. The Maker has a sense of humor, doesn't he? I suppose it's for the best, however. Had I kept it, it would be in Ban Loren's hands by now.
But you said Cailan entrusted it to you.
I was afraid. I thought I would lose it on the battlefield, so I stashed it in the camp. Please, it's probably still there.
Marik's sword. What a prize for the Darkspawn that would be.
I hope not. Would they know how to work the lock, even if they did?
The Darkspawn are more cunning than we give them credit for. But the king trusted that lock with his secrets. I'd guess that the contents of that chest are still intact.
The key's behind a loose stone at the base of a statue. I'll draw a map for you, so you'll know where to search.
It's not a place I thought I'd be returning to so soon. Least of all with you, Grey Warden. If it's not too much to ask of a commanding officer, just keep your moralizing to a minimum.
The events at Ostagar still haunt my thoughts, Warden. If that is where we are headed, I would like to accompany you.
It is vital that the king's documents do not fall into the wrong hands. As for Marik's sword, it is too powerful to be pawed at by those monsters. Same for the king's other arms and armor. And if you happen to find Cailan's body, see it off. He was our king. He shouldn't be left to rot amidst the Darkspawn's filth.
As you heard, we gotta go get that key that honor guard was entrusted with, and he left it at the Ostagar camp.
Darkspawn, hey?
Alright, but while... that was an interesting pose by Loghain. Tell you what, I should update a lot of my tactics, though, while we're here. Alright. Self, any, activate... rock armor, self, any, activate, combat magic. shimmering shield. Self any just because we have so many activated modes. I think that might be it. Yeah, I think that's it. This is so cheap. Actually, tell you what. Let me do self health. Oop. Below 100. Use an attack. Self health. Let's say below 25%. Use a health poultice. There we go. That's probably good enough just for general tactics, at least for my character. But for Loghain, threaten, taunt, range attack. Alright. Always put on rally. Threaten, that's good. Activate mode. Oh, crap. Oh, I know why. I didn't give him that, damn it. I didn't give him the Tome of Physical Technique. I didn't give him that yet, so he doesn't have that talent point. But we'll go do that. Oh, shit. Whatever. You know what? I don't give a shit.
Consider it done. I'll take care of it.
God, we're gonna make short work of this DLC just by how our characters are. But there you go.
Let
all
me
right.
know when you're done glaring at me, madam. My memories of this place are no fonder than your own.
No. I remember good friends dying in this place, and a man whom I respected as my king.
All I remember is a fool's death and a hard choice. I'd make the same again.
Even knowing all that you know now, Loghain MacTier?
Even so. Come, madam, our bitterness is better spent against the dark spawn than each other.
Yes, Maker forbid that I might waste a whole life's bitterness just on you.
Tension is real. I'm probably not going to talk a whole lot throughout this episode, just because there's a lot of dialogue between Loghain and Wynn, and I don't want to interrupt any of that. But if you had, at this point, like when you first came to Ostagar, if you hadn't gotten the key from this prisoner, the starving prisoner, you can just go ahead and loot the corpse. It'll be the key to the mage's chest. So now we can actually go ahead and open that if you didn't either kill the prisoner or give him like the plate of food or whatever he was asking for. But let's do Tome of Physical Technique. There we go.
That.
Level him up. He also gets another specialization. I'm probably just going to make him a berserker, so he gets the specialization bonus of +2 strength and 10 health. Sounds pretty good for a tank. And put 1 point in his strength. That's probably good for now, at least. Let's give him shield wall. This is the best thing we need for a tank. And then I'll probably end up purchasing another Tome of Physical Technique, just so that in case we don't level up in between now and we activate the final battle, just so that way he can get the last point in the passive within the second line of the weapon and shield. So when you get the shield expertise, it's going to increase your defense bonus for shield defense, which is awesome. And in addition to a character who is using shield wall, you're immune to direct knockdowns, which is just going to help us even more for Loghain staying in the fray. So let's oh wait, hang on, let me finish by tactics. Let me self any, we'll put on activate mode shield wall. Okay, and then we have on, it has on here for just if being attacked by a range attack, activate shield cover. Tell you what, let's do self I guess just melee attack. Let me see if I can do this then. I guess that might help. So that way, if you're being attacked by melee attack, I want you to switch it back to shield wall. But if you're being attacked by a range attack, I want you to use shield cover. That might... that might help. Self health is below 25%. Use health poultice. There we go. But I think I have him just as default. Let's make him aggressive. There you go. So that way he'll actively seek out enemies when he sees them. Alright, here we go. Wait. There we go. Alright, I promise I'm almost done. Yep, good. Alright, I have him the way I want.
See them. Dark spawn.
Very well.
I tried to be merciful.
So be it.
I'll take care of it.
Right away.
How about you then?
Another battle.
How cold does the king's metal feel in your hands, Loghain?
I feel nothing, old woman, and your constant prodding for regrets will gain you little.
And what if it had been your daughter in his place? Would you have regrets then?
Had I raised her to be such a fool as that, I'd have been in no better position to save her. What you forget is that your king was beyond saving. The Darkspawn would either have had him or have had us all. Do you really believe we would have been so much better off had I chosen otherwise?
It is my belief that a man who ties his own hands behind his back should not cry foul that there is no one left to defend his king.
Thanks. Thanks, 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 thanks. Wonderful. More Darkspawn.
So be it. Right away. Very well. I shall do it. Right away.
How about you? Now this should be fun.
I'm ready.
What now?
Complete. I'll take it.
We must have victory.
Consider it done.
Behind you! Not bad!
Consider it done.
More darkspawn, hey?
Very well. So be it. I shall do it. You're no match for me.
Well done. Trap right ahead.
Say when. Very well. Consider it done.
I never liked this part.
I shall do it. I'll take care of it. So be it. Right away. I'll take care of it. Very well. Consider it done. Right away. So be it.
It's done.
Yes? Is that all? The cheating bastard!
Watch your mouth, Loghain MacTeer, unless you have forgotten the company you now keep.
It's not my company I worry about, madam, but my former son-in-law's. Do you see the familiar tone with which the Empress writes him, as if my daughter were not already his wife?
Kaelin loved Anora with every ounce of his heart. It was plain for all to see. The only thing that ever stood between them was you.
Are you blind, old woman? The plot is plain as day within this letter. Love or no, Kaelin was gonna cast my daughter aside and wed himself to that bitch, Celine. In a single vow, Orlais would claim all that they could never win by war. And what would Ferelden gain? A fool of a king could strut about and call himself an emperor.
And what of peace? Would it not bring us that at least?
Peace. I would have thought your age might have granted more wisdom, madam. Peace just means fighting someone else's enemies in someone else's war for someone else's reasons.
Huh. One never expects creatures like those, really.
Very well.
Well, that's one less.
I see them. Dark spawn.
Right away. It's over for you! Very well. I'll take care of it. Right away. Consider it done. I'll oblige you this time, but normally I don't fight dullards and invalids. I shall do it. Right away. Very well.
We are victorious.
Trap right ahead.
Need something? I'll take care of it. Consider it done. So be it. One less to worry about. I'll take care of it. I shall do it.
You should.
Consider it done. Very well. Right away. Glorious!
Here I am. Just like you wanted.
Say when.
Look, darkspawn.
Oh, so down.
I'll take it.
Watch out!
Very well. Don't fall asleep. We've got trouble. So be it. Right away. Consider it done. Very well. I'll take care of it. So be it. Right away.
What's on your mind?
I'm ready.
Crawling back into their tunnels, are they? Let's take the battle to them.
take care.
Let's make this quick.
Very well.
Be careful!
Wonderful. More darkspawn.
Take that!
My magic will
So be it.
I will fail!
Consider it done.
Enough! Aw, you wanna die? Looks like we might be in for another fight. Oh, lovely.
So be it.
I take Paparona!
Ask away. What's next?
Blood. I think they're hungry.
Aw, you wanna die?
Yes?
Careful.
I'll take care of it. Consider it done.
Right away.
Wonderful. More darkspawn.
I shall do it.
Consider it done. I'll take care of it.
Yes.
Speak up.
Yes. Direct me.
Direct me! Right away.
Not bad.
I live to
not
fight
bad at
another
all.
day.
You've fallen silent, Loghain.
And I wish you would do the same, madam. It's been a long and wearying day.
On that, at least, the two of us can agree.
We are done here. Let's go home, and not speak of this again.
Speak your venom and get it over with, Loghain.
He may be a fool, but he doesn't deserve to be strung up like this.
Not a king's funeral, perhaps, but better than had we never come at all.